Holy crap.
Papo, papo.
Project Vesperia.
This isn't Tales of Symphonia
Man.
Remastered.
Eh,
Project Vesperia. Oh, that'll never hold. See, you made her cry. How you feel about that?
I'm going to Disney World.
No, Yuri's going to Disney World. Look, that's him going right now.
he's already at Disney World.
Fuck. He probably. No, he did. I
Waiting for
imagine.
everyone else to show the fuck up.
I imagine Yuri being that one guy who tries to backpass getting tickets.
Oh, he definitely would.
So, I'm just going to be the one who brings it up right now. Because for anyone that was aware of that...
CG.
Yes, also CG.
Sorry, I'm gonna poke fun of everything.
It's fine. No, the CG is pretty bad in this. But like, the animation is fine, but it's when it's mixed with CG, it gets really off.
That's what happens when an early Xbox 360 game. Oh god, this was an early Xbox 360 game.
Nobody talks about the 360 version. Not anymore,
I don't
anyway. It's the definitive
Yeah,
edition now. But just to clarify a few things for anyone that's been with us for like a while in terms of like the content we put out. Yes, we've tried commentating on this before.
Hello, character not relevant until endgame.
Yeah. But I tried recording it before, but I was still in my old habits of I'll just record and then we'll immediately commentate on it, and then I'd want to edit it together. And then that just kept, like, not discouraging me, but it's like I got too ambitious. So now what I'm doing, I'm recording it all, I'm recording one whole act at a time. I'm editing it all together.
Don't burn yourself out again.
No, this is to avoid that. Because that's how I burned out when we tried recording over this the last time. But, like, I'm recording it all at once. Not all at once, but I'm taking the opportunity to record it. Record all of an entire act. I'll edit it all together into parts, and then we'll commentate on all of it before I record the next act.
Val looks like shit.
Damn. He really does, CG
Man, the
Bubble.
graphics.
CG Paul looks like shit.
Honestly, for an early.
We made it to Disney World!
Honestly, for an early Xbox 360 game, this still looks pretty good.
Oh yeah,
But
like, the cell shaded characters, or like cell animation, or it reminds you a little bit of like Wind Waker. So it's
I
like
wish they stuck with it.
Yeah, it's timeless. It works.
Unlike certain other definitive editions, we'll not get into that game.
That's not
Never leave.
That's not a definitive edition. That's a quote unquote remaster. And good God, did they drop the ball on that? And let me just keep going at it with this whole thing. With that whole situation of me trying to set this up so I don't burn myself out. For context, I recorded Act 1 by the end of 2020. And you want to know, it's like, and I think there's been 2 Sonic movies and a Mario movie since then. And we're finally commentating on this. I just got really lazy with the editing toward the end. Really.
Tales of Arise came and went out with a whimper.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. The ending could have been better, but it was still good.
It was alright. But, regardless, that's just the context of how long it's been since I actually recorded this and when we're actually commentating on it. And why it took so long for this to come out at all.
Honestly, the cool thing about all this is, based on how long it's been since we've been here, it's a good way to show how well this game itself has actually aged.
It holds up spectacularly. It still has its problems because it was 2008 Tales, but it still holds up.
Yes.
I've always mentioned this, like, people that would ask me that have never played this franchise before, like, the latest modern game I would tell people to play would be Symphonia, and in this case it would be Symphonia on the GameCube, if you can.
Like even the PS3 re-release, it'll hold up.
And the latest retro game I would say to start would probably be either this.
I
game.
would argue just get the Steam version because it's fixed to the point where the flaws are pretty much non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, the earliest, most modern title, I would say, start with Vesperia, because it's just old enough to still feel like the old games, but new enough to be not daunting and feeling like it's throwing too much at you at once. Also, by the way, that "Oh No" by Flynn there cracks me up every fucking time because it feels like it was a first draft recording and they just went with it.
No, it's literally just Knuckles and Sonic Adventure. Oh no.
Pretty much.
Like I said, it feels like a first draft recording and Namco's just like, screw it, we don't have time to re-record it. It's 2 words, no time. It's 2 words, no time.
Literally just Knuckles.
But anyway, despite how long it's been since, between when I recorded this and when we commentated on this, I want to see this project through to the end. It doesn't matter how long it takes between recordings and editings and commentatings. This is my favorite Tales game. One of, if not the favorite Tales game. So I want to see this through to the end.
Yuri, this is not good.
2027. Hey guys, we're finally on part 1 of part 4.
We're finally on Act 2, guys.
I was like 2024. We're finally on We're finally on Act 4.
There's only
part
3
1.
acts.
What is this? Attack on Titan?
Dear God, I would never pull an Attack on Titan with
Please
this.
don't do that.
2030. We're finally on Act 2, guys.
Yeah.
Act 2, part 1 of 4.
But yes, anyone that's not aware of Tales of Vesperia, there's 3 acts to the story. The first and the last one are pretty short, but the second one's gonna be the longest. I will say that now.
I'll be there in a sec. Yuri, come on over.
Dog.
Yeah, fuck you, Ted.
In all seriousness,
leave child.
I will agree with logic. This is probably my 3rd favorite Tales game, next to Symphonia, just for nostalgic reasons, and then Tales of Xillia 2 is still my favorite.
Yeah, for
I
obvious
haven't
reasons.
played Xillia 2 in a long time, but I've gone back and rewatched playthroughs of it, and I think it still holds up.
Definitely. It feels like the best combination between, classic Tales with TP and like what they were doing with games like Graces and all that, where it's just like string your arts together however you want.
Alright, what about you, Luigi? What's your experience with Vesperia?
My experience is yes.
I mean, like, what do you think? What's your opinion on Vesperia?
It's good. It's a good game. Yeah. I can't give my overall experience till we get farther in.
Fair enough.
All I'll say I just remember when you were playing it, because I think you started with the definitive edition, didn't you?
I played the original Xbox 360 release, and that was through a friend.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's how I originally played it too. I played
Yeah.
it with a friend in college, and then my brother got a 360, and I played through with him on that one. And then I got my own 360. Got about halfway through it, and then Definitive Edition got announced, and I'm like, "Welp, there goes my
reason to own a 360.
Wasted. Son of a bitch."
GG easy.
Microsoft in the distance, pointing and laughing.
No, now my.
No, that's just Bamco laughing. They're like, "Ha, we got double your money."
They did, and now my 360's been sitting in my basement for like 5 years collecting dust.
What is funny too is, I think because to put further context behind me and this project, I wanted to record the Xbox 360 version at first. And when was the definitive edition announced? It was like late 2019, wasn't it, or like early 2018, or
it was announced like
late 2018,
tail end of 20. It was like announced like I think October of 2018, and for.
Let me see. Oh, it came out January 2019. So it was announced late 2018. I tried recording the 360 version about 4 months before it got announced before the definitive edition got announced in late 2018. And as soon as that happened, I was already like at Gotiso. And then by that point, I'm like, you know what? I think I'll wait.
The definitive edition got announced on June 10th, 2018.
Yeah.
I knew it was 2018 at some point.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because it was announced for winter of the following year. I hated that because I'm like, winter can mean anywhere between October and February, and I hate that. I hate that window so goddamn much.
I just remember it was around, I think it was April or May of that year when I was trying to record the 360 version, and I was trying so hard to make it work. Not that it was difficult, but I had to do this weird setup because I have an old 360, not one that has HDMI capabilities. So I had to use composite cables, and I had to get a composite to HDMI converter to make it work. And then after a few weeks, the converter just started shitting itself. So it stopped working. And then a couple months later, the definitive version got announced. Like, well, I don't have to try to fix this anymore.
And that's why.
What is that guy doing in the background? It looks like he's just tossing a bucket, and the bucket's just coming back.
There's so much water that he's just pouring water into water.
Yeah.
And the water immediately comes back.
I always imagined that they're just throwing a bunch of weights in there to clog it up.
Yeah, well,
Put your bag into it, man, you fucking cowards!
In that case, you should be getting rocks and putting the rocks into where there's holes, so that it stops clogging.
I think it's just bags of sand, so that way they're more malleable, so that way they'll, like, be more compactly put together, so there's less room for the water to spew out of. Because if it was just rocks, they'll just go through in between the cracks of the rocks.
And Repeat's sitting there like, I ain't touching that shit.
Water. Shit, man, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just a dog.
I was like, no, that's why. Like, I ain't touching that. That's water. Fuck that.
He'd probably pee in the water.
He would pee in the water. Let's be real here. You see Ted over there in the corner. He's just like, oh.
Hanks, did you see the Blastia core anywhere? You know, that shiny piece in the center?
It looks like a quarter.
Yeah.
It was a blue quarter.
lower quarter, so it's not even worth 25 cents. It's worth like 15.
Was the last
Bastards.
person to touch the Blastia, right?
That's right, Mr. Mordio.
And he lives in the royal quarter?
You know, now that I think about it, the intro to this game is very eerily similar to the start of Aladdin, except for the fact that Yuri's not like running away from the cops yet.
Yet. I was about to say, like, yet.
Yet.
Seriously, thinking of going to Mr. Mordio's place, are ya?
The only difference is that he's not trying to impress a princess by getting help from a genie with 3 wishes.
Creeps.
That would make
Also
for an
much-
interesting Tales game, though.
You can do a few tricks with that bony Blastia. You think you're invincible.
You mean I'm not?
Hoping he doesn't do
Hey, damn it, old man, damn it! Nobody needs to listen to me!
You think you're invincible? Or you think you're Mario? You got that superstar? Those don't exist, Yuri, I told you.
Enough with the showboating, Yuri!
I got some NPCs to talk to. Don't worry, later on I do this less and less because a lot of people have a lot to say in this game.
Yeah,
Yes, they do.
that is one thing I remember about this game is that I think every NPC has at least 3 individual lines of dialogue, which you have to
at least
activate every time.
2. There's like a few NPCs that only have 1 line, but most NPCs you have to talk to them twice because they have at least 2 unique pieces of dialogue.
No, that's what I mean. Like instead of having it show up all at once, you have to read one text box, wait for it to disappear, then talk to them again, and they say something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just maybe, I don't know what they were doing. They were trying to incentivize people to, like, talk more to NPCs, but at the same time, it's just like, just talk to them once.
Yeah.
Who let Pro
that's
cook?
That God damn it. Now that's an issue that earlier Tales games had too. Symphonia, every version of Symphonia had that problem where you'd have to talk to NPCs multiple times to get things to trigger, and it's annoying.
Well, when
I
it comes
keep
to
telling
stuff-
you, I keep telling you, every version of Symphonia is individualized.
I don't know.
It may as well be at this
With Symphonia
point.
on my end, like, well, with Symphonia, they don't really have multiple pieces of dialogue unless it is with a side quest involved. But
Yeah.
here,
Or
it's
if
just
there's-
any NPC. They'll have at least 2 pieces of dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things in Symphonia, like talking to dogs with Colette will get you stuff. Talking to female NPCs with Zelos will get you different dialogue and free shit.
Lots of free shit.
You get a title for it. You get a title for it too.
Damn
Go-
right.
Going back to Symphonia, though, the reason we finally started getting back to this after I recorded this like a little over 2.5 years ago,
There's you.
is because of Symphonia Remastered. Well, quote unquote remastered. We have our gripes with that. We still enjoy it. It's still Symphonia, but the remaster is bad.
And speaking as the only one of the 3 of us that's actually currently physically playing through it, I'm enjoying it, but as someone that has played through Symphonia to death on the GameCube, oh, it's sad. It's
a sad day when a jellyfish can make a better remake.
Yeah.
Well, that I wouldn't go that far, but
I
when
would.
it's when the issues with it are so bad that even people that have never played the game before can tell there's a problem with it, there's a problem with it.
Like,
How do you make a remaster that's worse than the Steam version, which was broken upon launch?
That was broken beyond belief. And to be fair here, like when remaster came out,
Remastered's not
and-
broken.
No, not
Oh, I
broken,
like
but
to
look,
finish.
when the remastered version came out and people were seeing the cracks before it even released, because there was like pre-release stuff, people were watching reviews, they saw the cracks that were showing in the remastered version. I said, fuck that, booted up the Steam version, and I've been playing through that for like the last 2 months.
The last I'll say of it is they announced that, and then like less than a month later, they announced that they're re-releasing Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 on Switch. Please, 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 for the love of God, have that be 1-to-1 the GameCube versions. For the love of God.
I don't even think there are any other versions of those games that are available.
No,
Are
but
there?
that's my point. That's also made by Tri-Ace and
wasn't that Monolith? Wasn't Monolith?
and
itself
Monolith.
involved?
Yeah, well, it's Tri-Ace and Monolith, and it was only published by Namco. So hopefully, Monolith knows what the fuck they're doing.
God, I hope so. Like, I never even played Baten Kaitos. I remember seeing your Let's Play of it here and there.
It's
It was just
good.
like, but it's
The
like-
only thing about it that I know for sure is that it's not going to have the English dub, but whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people are pissed about that because people do like the quote-unquote bad voice acting. Like, it's okay voice acting. Even I'm aware of that. But people like that, mid 2000 or like early to mid 2000s voice acting quality. It has charm to it.
Yeah.
Darn, as in, oh darn.
Sorry, Muichi, we're not trying to talk over you. It's just stuff that we're talking about is stuff you don't actually care that much about.
Well, it's not. I wasn't even complaining about that. It's the fact that I have nothing to contribute about Baten Kaitos.
That's what I meant by that. Like, I didn't mean to mention. I didn't want to go on too much of a tangent with Baten Kaitos because I know you don't know much or anything about it.
Give me the
We've
magic
been,
lenses.
we've been on a tangent for half the video. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, to get back on, if we're talking about
the fact you
bad
can't answer
stuff,
proves my point.
well, if we're gonna get back on topic, there are a couple things about this game that I still don't really care about, such as the crafting element in this game, where everything is craftable, and it's like, ew, no.
it's good for anyone that wants to really pinch their gold, especially early on. I'll say that
Yeah,
much.
but my issue with it is it makes everything twice as expensive. Like, you'll see, like, the magic lenses that are 10 gold, and then when you're buying it, you're buying the material, so it ends up being 15 gold. Like, don't do that.
And that's
If the option to craft is there, let me pick the option. Don't force me to craft it.
you don't have
I
to.
just craft shit by default.
I only ever do that with weapons because they do have that thing where you can craft an alternative version of a weapon or an upgrade to it that has different skills to it. Some
Yeah,
of
that
which
makes
have like
sense.
exclusive skills or skills that the previous version does not. There's a big collective, like, if you're trying to be a completionist with this game, oh god, no!
If you want to do 100%,
Oh man, is this gonna be the run where you have a wooden stick for half the game?
No.
That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought.
I tried doing that in Definitive Edition. And it has nothing to do with Definitive Edition. Going through 1/3 of the intro of Symphonia 1 without giving Lloyd any other equipment is bullshit.
Specifically
And
the weapon.
The title you get for it is not even worth it.
None of them are, really. Those are just for completionist's sake.
I just imagine Lloyd just beating everything with a stick. Just go full caveman.
Like, I think you have to get up to Magnus without buying a sword for Lloyd. That's insane.
No, it's a Killia.
No. Still, that's pretty damn far.
So you have to, yes, you have to get past Palma Costa without
like
ever
4.5
upgrading your
to-
weapon. That's like 5-6 hours.
That's almost 5 dungeons. That's insane.
Like-
Almost as insane as trying to get through all of that without anyone dying while Colette's in your party, or never using gels on Genus.
With the Genus one, that one I understand. You have to go through the entirety of the Silveron arc up until you fight Pronema, up through that fight, without using a single gel.
On Genus specifically.
No, I think it's just in general. If you use a gel, it doesn't matter who uses it.
Oh, well, that makes it even worse. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Who wants to camp at the end?
I'm good, thanks. It's just funny though. If you're going for that title, any gels you get, you may as well fucking sell them because they're worthless.
Looks like the nobles are living the sweet life as usual.
Didn't you hear? They found a whole warehouse full of them. They're worthless.
Just a warehouse full of gels. I'm like, gimme.
They're worthless.
Oh man.
They're just chitting them out.
I didn't notice this before, but looking at Repeat's profile, his eyebrows look like they're made of paper. It's like Paper Repeat. It's like if Repeat were in Paper Mario. And in fact, if you think about it, if Repeat were in Paper Mario, that would be badass.
No. He has cardboard eyes to hide the fact that he has cardboard eyebrows to hide the fact that he has no eyebrows, and that he's secretly a Super Saiyan 3 the whole time.
Goddamn.
I mean he's a dog. I don't think dogs usually have eyebrows.
Ooh, excuse me.
Who fucking cares? It's Repeat.
Repeat's the best. I'll always remember. Although I don't remember who said it, but the guy that said Repeat is his favorite character because he's a dog that wields a motherfucking sword in his mouth.
That is my favorite freaking line from that Still Gaming review.
I wonder if that video is still up on YouTube. It's been
I'm gonna have to look it up, and honestly, if I find it, I'll cut it like right here.
And look at Rapide. He's a dog that wields a fucking sword in his mouth.
If I find
Hopefully.
it.
Yeah.
If not, that's gonna look really awkward. It's like, what? Wait, what? Why did he say that?
Why did he say that?
I'm just saying because I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even on the YouTube anymore because it's been a long freaking time.
It's still there. Fuck yeah, more
Oh,
editing.
I think you've gone insane.
But I'm not insane.
Insane in the main brain.
Dang.
Man, every time I think about that, I think of that episode of King of the Hill when Dale was like trying to pretend like he was mentally insane. So he kept getting. So they like dragged him into a mental institution, and they were playing that song to it for some reason.
I'm sorry, I thought this was the bathroom. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, and before I completely forget, because we did go on like a huge ass tangent there. The reason we came no, it's fine. I kind of forgot about it myself.
It's your fault.
It's my own damn fault. But
I was saying it's Cyrus' fault.
Whoops.
No, just like going back to the reason why we're finally getting back to this is it's because of Symphonia Remastered and how bad that like ended up coming out. And they're just all like, hell, even Vesperia Definitive wasn't that botched. It had problems when it launched, but they were fixed. And it wasn't even that bad to begin with, not like Symphonia Remastered. And then I thought, oh yeah, we should probably get back to that.
I'm just like,
As
how do
someone-
you make a launch that's worse than the Steam launch?
Like, how do you
Oh,
make
Symphonia.
a port worse on better hardware than its previous iterations and call it a remaster?
How do
How do you make
build-
how do you make a port worse twice?
I was gonna say, how do you make something run flawlessly on a GameCube and every version after GameCube is somehow worse? I can understand the whole source code debacle. That's fine. The source code has nothing to do with the game running properly in general.
And why would you code the PS2? Like, I don't know if there's a limitation with the PS2 on that sort of thing, but why would there be a hard cap of 30 frames per second?
Because I can actually
Because
answer
Sony
that.
sucks. Sony sucks.
No, I can actually answer that.
Oh, okay.
The reason it runs at 30 frames per second is because they actually rebuilt the entire game to run at 30 frames per second.
But it's like, why couldn't you just make it? So
They
it's like-
rebuilt the entire game.
yeah, they did. They rebuilt the entire game and they built it strictly around 30 frames per second.
I am convinced.
Yes.
I'm
So if you
convinced that
increase people have shown this with video proof. If you increase the frames to 60, the entire game just goes to shit.
I am convinced that Bamco somehow, for some reason, has some vendetta against Nintendo. Because
They don't.
there's no other excuse as to why the GameCube version from 20 fucking years ago runs better than every version that's come out since.
And the Switch version of Remastered in particular has the shittiest end of the stick with that release.
Yes, it does.
And so, like, how did Cyclone? Cyclone
does water damage.
Cyclone
That's
does
wind
water
damage.
damage, has the animation of healing wind.
It's stuff like that that keeps you guys from
And
getting
it's like, what?
They didn't even try.
Like, why even is that a thing? Not even in the other remastered versions is the Cyclone like that.
My favorite character lags the game so much that it actively makes people hate her on that alone. And it makes the people that have already hated her justify their hatred of her. It's like, one,
It
fuck
became a
you.
meme.
One, fuck you. Two, it's a video game character. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? And three, what does that say about you if you're bullying a fictional character, you piece of shit? Get a life.
Right. It's funny though.
She became a meme.
It was actually pretty funny though. It's just like, goddamn. Just like, it sucks that they're shitting on Colette for this. I'm just like, guys, this is hilarious.
Yay for
Yes.
yay for subverting expectations. I did it right. I made it sound like I was legitimately angry, and I turned it around to being like, you're a pathetic piece of shit because you're making fun of a fictional character. What is wrong with you? Of course, then you're also the same people. To go back to the Mario movie for a second, you're probably the same person that was complaining that the Mario movie's trailer
going off.
was showing too much of Princess Peach. Go fuck yourself.
Also,
Bro's
built-in free run. Yeah.
Huzzah!
Also, bro was cooking big time.
I think, wasn't this the first, like, this wasn't, Abyss had free run, but I think this was the first game to have free run unlocked by default.
Yeah, Abyss,
Yes.
you had to get to level 5, which I get the reason why, because
Yeah.
before Abyss, there was no free run, so they wanted to slowly introduce it into the series like that. But imagine going through a new game, and it's just like, oh, right, I don't have free run yet.
To be slightly fair, I think Luke starts at level 3, so you
Yeah.
only have to gain 2 levels, so it doesn't take that long.
And it's just funny, though, because it's technically a skill. You could take off free run if you want, but why would you do
can.
that?
Why would you do that? Yeah.
That's why every game after Abyss makes it a default.
Yeah, it's a default option, and thank God they did that.
Yeah.
I would have been worried if they still made it like a toggleable option. I was like, don't. And especially with skills in this game, they take points. It's like, what are you going to do? Make it 0 SP? So it's like you could turn it on and off if you want to. But it's like, but why?
Yeah. As much as I do enjoy this game, I think they overdid the skill system a little bit in this game. Just a little.
Are you sure about that?
Just a little.
Are
They
you
can't-
sure about that?
I think in this game, the amount of SP you even have to equip skills is tied to how much you level up. But I think in something like Exilia and Exilia 2, when you learn a skill, you gain half of that skill's SP requirement as SP towards your character.
Just more points towards Zilia, which Bamco's never gonna re-release.
And if they do, we're just gonna pray, please don't fuck this up.
Don't fuck it up. to be slightly fair to Symphonia Definitive Edition for a minute, if I'm correct, the reason why it turned out that way is because Bamco gave it to a parent company that had never ported the game before and had no experience with it whatsoever, and just said do it. Like, if you were gonna port it, at least just do a straight port of the PS3 version, which you've proven with Vesperia you can do that because you did it a year ago.
And then, not to mention, that just looks even worse on Bamco, because if they're just passing it off to another company, and then by, like, I don't even know if there was any, like, actual playtesting of the ports of the remastered edition.
Giving you some extra practice.
But just, like, there was... It seemed like people were hoping when those problems came up, just like, please let there be a day one patch, please let there be a day one patch. I was like that, and it didn't happen. It wasn't until like a week or two after fact, it's like, oh, we're now aware of the issues. Like, why weren't you aware of them in the first place?
And then they have the audacity to give out a bit. They have the audacity to give out a survey of how satisfied you are.
I was saying I was waiting for that. Like, Luigi, you get to send off that one. That's the like I was an unapologetic defender of this version, and I still kind of was until I took the survey. And when you take the survey, one of the things they have on there is
what
like,
did you
which
like
version
and
of
what
this
did you
game get?
dislike?
Like, which version did you get? You hit Switch. As soon as you hit that, you get a whole new set of questions. Like, on this version, did you encounter entire list of every possible problem that everyone has told them exists in this game?
Mm-hmm.
Proving our point that they know that that's the problem. They knew those problems existed before they let the game out. They know people know that, which means they're not going to do jack shit about it.
I mean, no, because the survey came out a month after the remaster came out. If they did the survey like the same week, like before, hell, even before, like right as the game came out and they had those questions, I fully understand. But it's like, I don't know. At least
That survey was made on SurveyMonkey, by the way.
Yeah, my problem with it is that all of the questions on those surveys were stuff that they knew people already knew was the problem. So they knew those problems existed and they didn't fix them. In fact,
by the way, the part's over.
Yeah. we like to be fair though.
We went to welcome to the Tales of Vesperia commentary where we talk about Symphonia Remastered.
To be fair, that was the reason why I started pushing for this again.
True.
Among the other reasons, but you know, that's beside the point. Not to mention the first part, not a lot going on. We're moving around here and there, learning how to fight. I think we'll focus a lot more on the actual game itself in part 2 when stuff starts happening.
We will. We use this part to air out all of our grievances.
Stay tuned for part 2. We continue this tangent.
We still enjoy this series. It has its problems, but we love it. It's because we love it that why we're so mad.
Yeah. If Vesperia Definitive Edition had these problems too, we would be complaining about that too.
It did, but they got fixed pretty quick. Anyway,